Hello everyone. Uh, we will be recording the demo of Amigo Chatbot, a chatbot for cloud operations management. Uh, Amigo is a chatbot which brings multi-cloud management to enterprise messengers like Slack, Facebook Messenger, and any other enterprise messenger. It can support multiple cloud environments. Like today we support Amazon Web Services. It can be extended to support other cloud environments like Google Cloud, Azure, by Microsoft, and others. Uh, it makes it more convenient for teams to collaborate and carry forward the DevOps culture this way. Amigo integrates with the Slack Enterprise Messenger and provides the web UI, mobile app, and a CLI for the user registration. For user registration, user profile will consist of the user ID of the Slack user and the cloud provider credentials. This is one of the prerequisites that Amigo will need to have prior to us being able to use that bot in the Slack interface. So right now in the demo I will show how the Amigo works. So we sign into our Slack team, amigobot.slack.com. So once the sign in completes, I have already added the bot as a user in our Slack team. The bot has also been invited to the channel called ChatOps. So multiple team members can simultaneously start interacting with the bot. They can send their messages to the bot, as one of the examples here shows. You can say, in plain English, you can say list EC2 instances, and it will find an intent with the corresponding keywords that we have entered, and it will map it to a command in the database. That command would be executed in the backend, and the response of it would be returned here. This is very same as if you had the access to the Amazon's AWS CLI command tool, but the only difference is that you have it in the convenience of the chat room in the Slack Messenger, so you will be able to access the same command line operations from within the Slack Messenger, and you can do it collaboratively. You can do it in consultation with your team. That is how you can carry forward the DevOps culture. Slack and other enterprise messengers have another advantage that they have so many third-party plugins that can bring in events from different cloud providers. You can monitor those cloud infrastructure that you are interested in monitoring, and those events can be forwarded through those third-party plugins that have been, or the bots that have been written for enterprise messenger like Slack. And once you have received those events, like say a CPU is very high on one of the EC2 instances, you would get an event from the Amazon CloudWatch inside your Slack. And what would you do then? You would rather want to have another EC2 instance created, and that is where AmigoBot comes in. You can execute the same command as if you were on the terminal, and you don't even need to install AWS CLI locally. You can be on your mobile, you can be on a web console. So the local machine where you are running the Slack Messenger does not need to have the AWS CLI. The beauty of it is that you can even do it from mobile on the move. You can do it from your iPad, you can do it from your mobile phone, and just open the Slack app and type in the command, ask the bot to do it for you, and it can execute any command that you can run on the command line when you have typed it as is. But if you don't want to remember the command, we have mapped the command, the intents of the command, to the actual command. So, for example, here, like if you say list my EC2 instances, it would be able to map it. You just says create EC2 instance, it would map it to some default configuration, but it would be able to create an EC2 instance which you can later scale up, scale down, or scale out. So that's the flexibility that Amigo bot brings in. Now I'll show you how we started in the demo. So here's the Git repository, Amigo Chatbot, and it's available on GitHub at this location, SGSU cohort 6 Amigo Chatbot. So once you have pulled in the sources, you can go to the deploy OSX directory that would and run the script. This would start with first launching the Kafka message queue. Once the Kafka message queue has been launched, you can see that it runs as a Docker container, and the Kafka zookeeper has been deployed. So once the Kafka has been started, it creates a user.message queue on the Kafka message topic on the Kafka. Kafka is used as a bridge between the message processing modules of Amigo Chatbot. So the adapters that receive the message from Slack and other different clients that Amigo Chatbot will support, those messages are pushed to Kafka, and asynchronously those messages are processed and the response is returned to the respective clients. So there is some delay between after the Kafka has been started, giving it full time for it to come up. Now next the same script would launch another service called user service. User service is the one which is used for user registration. It maintains all information about the user, which is known to Amigo system, Amigo Chatbot system. Next is the Slackbot service. Slackbot service is an adapter for the Slack interface. Next you see is the RIA-bot. RIA-bot is an adapter for the RIA Raspberry Pi intelligent agent. And next is the Start Chatbot service. The Chatbot service is a generic chatbot service, which is the meat of all the processing that has to happen, which is common between all the adapters for different client types, like the Slackbot or RIA-bot. They all receive messages. They know how to receive the message for their own client type. But once the message has been received, they are all forwarded to the chatbot, and the chatbot service knows how to push it to Kafka, how to get the intent from the VTI service for the message, and once that has been done, they are sent to the backend, which is where the command processor service receives it, and that it does by reading it from the Kafka message queue, the user.message topic. It reads the message from there, and it would then send the message to be processed to the cloud using the cloud CLI tool, and that we do via executing a Docker container which already has a Docker image that already has a built-in cloud provider CLI tool. So in case of AWS, if you use the AWS CLI tool, we have a Docker image which runs that AWS, which comes with the AWS CLI tool, and when we run it as a container, it will execute the command that has been passed to it as an argument while running the Docker container, and that command gets executed when the container is created, and the response from that is grabbed and sent back to the client. So that's how we execute. We do not require local installation of the AWS CLI, and if you ever need to upgrade the AWS CLI, say next version of AWS CLI supports like 10 new commands, all you have to do is push that new image of AWS CLI on the Docker Hub. The next time the command executes with the new command, it would all the new or the old command, it would basically try to see if the Docker Hub has a latest image. If it has a later image, it will pick it up. If it does not have a later image, it will just use the one which is locally available on the executor host. And then when the command gets executed, the response is shown here. So now that the services are up, we can start talking to Amigo. So we say, hey Amigo, list my EC2 regions. So this is a command which says like I'm interested in knowing what are the regions of my EC2 are. We could as well have typed the full command, but here like we are typing it in plain English. The intent only cares for the two keywords to be found in the message, that is EC2 and regions. Once that has been found, it expands that into an actual command which the AWS CLI can understand, and that is the command that gets executed with AWS CLI. There it is AWS EC2 describe regions, and once that command gets executed, we get the response here. Another example is Amigo. Show me my EC2 instances. An intent again is found. It says AWS EC2 describe instances, and here is a list of all the instances that are currently there. The entire detail that you can care about knowing from the instance. The state is for monitoring interfaces. The instance is in a startup state. The ID of the instance with which you can feel that instance is present. So like for example, this is the instance that we are talking about here. Yeah, 85. So that's the instance which is in stop state, and that has been listed over here. Now say we want to tell at Amigo AWS start instances, instance IDs, and we'll copy paste the instance ID. This is how you would have typed the command had you been working on the command line. Now when this command is sent to the southbound, no intent is found for this message because this is the actual command. You don't map it to any instance. So there was a typo here, it seems. Okay. So what was missed was in the command we also require to say at Amigo AWS EC2 instances, start instances. Again, no intent is found, but the command will get executed, and now it is executing. It has gone into pending state. Let's see if that has actually happened. Okay, so yeah, it's running now. If you care to find out what is the instance, the state now, you can say at Amigo show me my instance, EC2 instances. Okay, so now the state is running, and that's the same instance. Now we want to stop it. All we have to say is the same command as what we typed earlier. But we have to say stop here. And we turn it on. Yep, it's gone into stopping state. And that's what we have a response for here. So we can start the instance, stop the instance. Now let's see, we can create an instance at Amigo EC2, or just say create EC2 instance. Of course, that's not the right command, and it maps to some default configuration that the user has already configured. How an instance should by default be created, has there been no other configuration specified at the command line. So today for the POC, if you just say create EC2 instance and you find that EC2 and create keywords exist in your command, you can type it in any fancy way. You can say create me my EC2 instance, but till the time we find that EC2 and create are there, or we infer it to be like the user is interested, and the intent of the message is that the user is interested in creating an instance. So, and if we have not specified any other configuration, that means that he wants the default instance to be created. default instance is already configured to be of this sort, where we use some certain key, some certain security group, which is basically open everything. And a micro instance of T2 type is created, and the EMI ID or the machine images of Ubuntu 14.04 LTS edition, and that's the image that would be created. So if we refresh here now, we should be able to see our new instance, and it's running. It's initializing right now. So, and that's the E8. E8 is the instance ID. E8 is the instance ID. So this is how we can start, stop, create an instance. We can actually do much more. We can find the reason. We can say at Amigo, show me my EC2 zones. So here, like, we have told EC2 and zones, so it would expand that command to an actual command of AWS EC2 describe availability zones, and it would list all the availability zones that are available to us. So that's pretty much it on how Amigo can facilitate management of your cloud infrastructure. This demo is basically not only limited to how we can use Amigo for managing the EC2 instances. You can even say AWS S3LS, and it would, I mean, you can type any command that you can do on a terminal using the AWS CLI. So it could be an S3 related command, an EC2 instance related command, and actually you can even do Amigo AWS help, and it would list you all the commands that are available to you. So it says that there's no intent found, so you are actually typing an actual command which you would have done had you been on a terminal. These are the list of commands that you could have executed. It's the help command which got executed in the backend, and the response is shown very clearly within your Slack. So this is one of the interfaces. We are using a desktop Slack client. We logged into the Slack bot, and we can do the same from the web UI of the Slack. Very similar. All you have to do is log into the web UI. It shows all the commands that you as a user have executed till the end. So last command that we executed was this, and it is also from here. Since the same interface, you can see the same interface and the same commands can be executed from even a mobile app of Slack. So the beauty here is that you don't need the local AWS CLI installed, and you still are able to execute AWS CLI commands. And that's not all. That's not it. So Amigo can be extended. Today we have a prototype, a POC version, which just integrates with Slack and only AWS. But we can do more messenger types, like Facebook Messenger, Twilio, and you name it. Like basically, Google has Allo. So all of those messengers can be integrated too. On the southbound, we can integrate it not only with AWS, but we can integrate with Google Cloud, Docker Cloud, Azure CLI is also there, so we can do that. So all of that functionality can be brought for a team within the convenience of your chat room. And in the enterprise messengers, we have so many other third-party plugins with which it would become more seamless or more useful for the user, that not only one bot is providing all the functionality, but there are different bots which are providing events into your messenger, enterprise messenger, like Jenkins events are there, which are providing you the events for when the builds are broken or builds are happening, and GitHub events are there, which will provide the GitHub events coming in. So all of those events could be used, and then you can act on those events by actually controlling them or running some AWS CLI commands or your any cloud environment, cloud provider related commands right from the convenience of your Slack bot. So that's pretty much it, and that's how we'll end the demo.